So yeah, Disney, go to hell.
Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Wow, I'm Chewy Mew, welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video. Today, this is the first time ever on the channel that I have a guest on here, and that is, a guest that managed to, he earned his place on the channel, which sounds very pretentious, but I made a video where I talked about, hey, can you guess which custom this is? And spoilers, the custom is now Prowler. He guessed that it was Prowler, and I was like, yeah, you guessed it correctly. Now we have to do a collaboration. He was like, oh, cool. So, yeah, here we are. Welcome, Mr.L, to the channel. This custom is dedicated to you because you managed to guess something that was, you know, not really easy to guess.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It is a huge honor to be your first guest on your channel, and that Prowler custom looks absolutely amazing. All right, my first question to you is, as a Spider-Man fan, what were your thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home?
So I have an answer that could probably last I feel like I could talk about this for probably like 3 hours straight, but I'm gonna just try to like sum it up here because I did kind of like it, but there were some parts I don't like. So generally I don't like the MCU Spider-Man because I don't know, it just feels. It just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me, you know? But I feel like this one, I wouldn't say that it fixed it, because I still don't like Far From Home and Homecoming. I still don't like them, but I think moving forward, the Spider-Man might be better. I did like the inclusion of the other villains, which I do feel like it was a little bit, it's cash grabby. I mean, the movie did so well because those characters were in it, but if those characters weren't in the movie, I wouldn't have seen it at all. But I do think it was good. I do think they were, for the most part, faithful to the movies the characters came from. I really like the ending, how hopefully Tom Holland's Spider-Man is now going to be on his own. Hopefully, they're giving the idea that maybe this Spider-Man is going to be a poor, broke loser. Like, you know, like we like to see Spider-Man, just some poor guy that is just always down on his luck, having a hard time, you know, even living, basically. But I kind of hope that they stick with that. I hope that they keep it with this more serious tone rather than being, but I can't help but feel like the MCU is gonna kind of try like screwing it up somehow in a sequel. You know how in like Far From Home, one of the opening scenes is them making fun of the snap where everybody died, which I feel like also they're using one of Whitney's most emotional songs in a joke scene. So yeah, Disney, go to hell.
It is crazy.
Dramatic, somewhat confusing road.
Probably nothing crazy happens again because are the Avengers even like a thing anymore?
Does anyone even have a plan?
MCU movies are like they're trying to be over funny that it comes off kind of dumb. It feels like it's like a Jim Carrey kind of movie. It's like, all right, enough with the jokes. Let's get on with this, you know? You know, funny enough, watching this movie and seeing all these villains are here from the previous movies, seeing Tobey and Andrew showing up was like, oh man, that's insane! I remember I was smiling so happy and people were cheering and screaming and stuff during the movie. To me, it was really cool and seeing the homages. And what it made me think about right away, like the first thing it made me think about was there was this one, you know how sometimes in Power Rangers they would have like previous Rangers from other seasons would team up with the new ones, and it was like, oh hey look!
What? 10 Red Rangers?
These guys are from the other show. Like, I remember that happened one time. It was Wild Force Power Rangers, where pretty much every Red Ranger from all the previous seasons all teamed up together to take on these bad guys. And it was like, that's so cool. These are all the other Rangers from all the other seasons. It was, I don't even remember how many there were, but there was like I think 10 or 11 Red Rangers there. That's how the movie felt. It was like, oh, Tobey and Andrew and all these other villains are here. It's crazy. And I remember the first thing I was thinking was, it's kind of like Power Rangers, how they bring back previous characters, because Power Rangers did it first, but it was just so cool. It was awesome. It was really, really good. The one thing that really, you know, probably everyone thought when Tobey and Andrew showed up, they were like, oh, this is insane, they're back, this is so crazy. And me, I was thinking, that's so crazy, that's so cool that they're back, it's just like Power Rangers. Dr. Octopus was good. I feel like everyone was really good. Electro was a complete different character. He was still played by Jamie Foxx, but he was a completely different, it wasn't even the same character at all. He was just someone completely different, which I think that was pretty cool. But other than that, it was, I love the movie. I thought it was really good. I like that Tobey and Andrew were actual I liked that they were actual characters in that movie instead of just being like, oh, my back, pizza time, and then, you know, that was it, and they, like, just like a 10-second cameo. They were actually full-blown characters in the movie, and I thought it was so cool. You know, one thing that kind of bugged me is, you know, how Andrew and Toby kept telling Tom Holland that, hey, you can't kill Green Goblin, you can't let revenge get the worst of you. Don't have revenge because it's horrible and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the movie, Tom Holland picks up Green Goblin's glider and he's about to just, like, stab him with it. And so that means he was okay with killing Green Goblin the whole time. Like, the only reason he was stopped from killing him is because Toby stopped him. So that's one thing I didn't like, that it's like he didn't learn anything. He still wanted to kill Green Goblin at the end of the movie. So he didn't really learn the lesson that, oh, hey, don't get revenge on people. So I'll ask you the same question. What did you think about Spider-Man No Way Home?
I thought it was really good. Like, I mean, there were some flaws to it, and like the flaws that you pointed out. But overall, it was just a really good time for me. I enjoyed myself. It was a bad time, but a good time. You know what I mean? But yeah, like with Otto Octavius, I get very emotional about my past, or my childhood, I mean. So when
Otto. Well, it's good to see you, dear boy.
Otto Octavius was talking to Tobey Maguire's Peter, and he just said, look at you, you're all grown up now. I kind of got misty-eyed because I almost cried because yeah, like I said, I'm very emotional about my childhood, and I saw Spider-Man 2 when I was about to, and now me being almost 20 is just, yeah, it just really hit close to home. Alright, so my next question for you is, what is your holy grail Marvel legend? It can be Spider-Man related or not Spider-Man related.
Get out of here, Prowler. Okay, so I had to move some stuff around here because the stupid comic books kept falling over, knocking everything down, but my Grail figure is this guy here, the Snapshot Spider-Man. So it isn't technically Marvel Legends, because honestly, I don't really have many Marvel Legends, but, you know, within the same realm of Spider-Man, you know, Marvel figures, it's this guy, the Snapshot Spider-Man. It's a Grail because it's always something that I really wanted, and it was technically always available to get on eBay, but just ridiculously expensive. This one cost over $200, which that's a bit much for a figure, but it was brand new in the box, and look at all the stuff you get. This is buyer's remorse right here. So you had this cool little camera that flashes here. You of course get this figure. He didn't come with this camera. That actually is a custom camera that came from some other figure and has like a custom neck strap on it. And this figure is great. It's very much like your kind of early 60s era Spider-Man drawing, like Stanley Jack Kirby era Spider-Man look to him. And I think it's really cool. But as far as Grail figures that I don't own, I do have a couple. One of those is this guy right here. Just a picture I pulled up on eBay. It's the Spider-Man 2 superposable figure here. This has been a Grail figure because I've never seen it in stores. I'm trying to see if there's better pictures, but yeah, you can see how ridiculous the prices are on this thing. That's from Japan though, but I've already spent enough money on toys, you know? Okay, my next question for you is, the flash is on. My next question for you is, how did you get into collecting Marvel Legends or Spider-Man figures, or, you know, in general? I just call these Marvel Legends even though they're not actually Marvel Legends, but yeah, how did you get into collecting them?
Yeah, back in 2016, my parents got me the Civil War 3-pack with Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. And I didn't really collect after that. I just had those three. Like, it was just those three. And it wasn't until like mid-August of 2017, that's when I got really sick, and all I would watch is Jessica Jones. So my dad, to cheer me up, got me this. Got me the Marvel Legends Jessica Jones from the series. Hope you can see that properly. And yeah, after this, I just really started collecting. So yeah, so thank my dad for all of this, basically. Alright, so my last question for you is, what inspired you to start your channel, and what are the plans for the future of your channel?
That's a bit of a tricky question, but I'm gonna try answering it. So I originally started this channel with the goal to work on a Spider-Man 3 fan film, which was going to be called Spider-Man 3 Definitive Edition. where it wasn't going to be a brand new fan film from the ground up. It was going to be sort of taking Spider-Man 3 and pretty much fixing stuff that I thought were issues with it, and stuff that I always thought like, I don't like that this much, or stuff that I feel like was changed. And so long story short, the first video on this channel was actually a stop motion video that I made between it was a Spider-Man 3 scene where I put a Spider-Man figure, like a stop motion figure, over top of Black Suit Spider-Man in the Sandman versus Black Suit Spider-Man scene in Spider-Man 3. That was the first video on the channel. So it was gonna be changes like that, but then some stuff happened. Not gonna go into it, and then COVID happened too, and so I locked down and stuff. I couldn't leave the house, and then I kind of got a little bit depressed about that, so I kind of just gave up on the fan film. And what I did in the meantime, to sort of while I was, because in my mind I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take a break from this until things get better. But spoilers, COVID is still out there being horrible, so not much in the world has really, gotten better so far. But it started off with me reviewing my first Spider-Man figure ever, this guy right here. And so when I reviewed him, I said, hey, I'm taking a break from my fan film to review figures in the meantime. And then this basically is what the channel become, just me reviewing figures. I'm pretty sure most people don't even know that originally the channel was meant to be used to make a Spider-Man fan film. And then, so I started off reviewing this guy first, and I was like, hey, while I'm working on the Spider-Man 3 fan film, taking a break, I'm going to be reviewing my figures. And this was my first figure that I reviewed on the channel, my first Spider-Man figure ever. It's Joints Are Crazy Loose. And so this guy, I was like, doing these reviews, a lot of people like them, a lot of people like watching these, and they're like, hey, that's really cool, can't wait to see more. And then we talk about the figures, specifically Spider-Man 2002. You've been here from the beginning. This video here, Spider-Man 3 fan film announcement, it's from 2 years ago. You can see it has a lot of comments, because a lot of people saying, hey man, I can help you here. This was an other like scene that I did. This is the Spider-Man 3 the fight that I said. And so I unlisted this video just because whatever. You know what, screw it, I'm gonna make it public again, whatever. But yeah, so my final question for you is, what is your favorite custom that you've made?
Alright, so my favorite custom that I've made is this custom Spider-Man. I used the Marvel Legends Black Ant base because it's the same body mold as Pizza Spider-Man, and I sort of took inspiration from other Spider-Men from different kinds of media. Like the blue fingers are from the Amazing Spider-Man, the messy web designs that I have all over him is from what's it called? Edge of Time. And the silver is also from the silver feet are also from the Amazing Spider-Man, and the big logo on the front and on the back is sort of a homage to the PS4 game, as well as the eyes. So yeah, this one has to be my favorite. Thank you so much for letting me be on your channel. It has been a huge honor to collab with you. It really has. And thank you again for dedicating your custom Prowler to me. It looks really, really amazing. And I'm looking forward to working with you again in the future. All right. Bye, people.
Yeah, so thanks for being on the channel too. Thank you for letting me be on yours. It was just it was just really cool. I've never done this before. It was kind of like, what the heck, dude? Why don't I just ask you? And you're like, yeah, let's do it. Which is really cool. But yeah, so that's all for this video. If you'd like to, be sure to let me know. Also, go check out Mr.L's channel. I'll put a link in the description. Yeah, so go check him out. Go see some of his videos. He made a lot of cool figures and customs and stuff like that. Like the one you showed off. The one kind of like the cool mixture of different Spider-Man kind of costumes mixed together, which that's really cool. Go check out his videos. They're pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much about it. I will see you guys in the next video. This is for Mr.L. Wow.